Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. So today I have Pascal Gas. One of his advocacy: turn your wiring into a growth engine at work at and at home. No other than Mr. Pascal Mbo'a. And of course, he's an international coach and creator of Visionary Mastery. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Pascal. Can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Oh yeah, I think you got it right, bro. You got it right. But as usually, I love to keep it simple. I just say I'm the regular dude. Having conversation all day long with people around how they can turn their wiring into growth engines, right? And whenever I say that and people are interested to know more, then I dig a little bit deeper. But that's always how I introduce myself. Just a regular dude who's about to have another conversation on how to turn you know, your wiring into growth engines.
Growth engine indeed. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Pascal. And the four stability triggers that we're going to talk about today: problem, people, peace, and process. Control your results. Tell us about this.
All right. So what we usually say, people in a self-development and professional development running toward the results, and they want to attack the results because they have a problem with the results, so they want to change the result. But we say let's have the conversation in a different way. Okay, let's break it down, not just rushing toward the result, which is the end thing, but let's go back to the beginning, to the root problem, and let's see if there are some particles that we can actually change and transform. And what does that give us is problem, people, and pace, and process. All right. So we say if we are able to speak directly to each of those pillar, let's call them pillars. If we are able to speak directly to those four pillars, then we can have an input to change the result that is at the end, right? So how do we take those four, or what does that even mean? Like when we say people, we say what to say: problem, people, peace, and process. The first P is about problem, right? All we want to know is what is your capability and ability to solve problems? That's what we want to know. Are you a fast thinker? Are you someone who solve problem on his feet? Are you someone who is problem open? Is like you're looking to solve problem? Is that something that you actually enjoy to do in life? Because let us not kid ourselves. There are people who are not that great at solving problem. Okay, there are people who are not great at that. There are people who don't like to expose themselves to problem. And then there are people who are just, that's not their thing. Like there's no other reason. It's just that's not their thing. And then on the other side, you have people who are naturally wired to go toward problems. They hired in companies to solve problem because that's what they love to do. So the first P is problems, and all we want to know is what is how are you related to all this industry of solving problem? Is that something that you enjoy? Yes, no, right? And then we want to see at what level you want to solve problem. That's the first thing. Then we go to the second P, which is about people. And all we want to know with people is what is your rate when it comes to create a relationship with people? Are you good at it? If you look at the past 6 months, if you look at the past 3 years of your life, how many new friends have you made and why? If you have made a lot of friends, why? If you have made zero friends, why? The reason why we ask why here is because we want to find a correlation between your vision and what is happening on the people platform. Like, okay, I'm making friends. I'm making a lot of friends because I have a business and I need connection and contact. Making sense. I'm making zero friends, but I have a business and I have no contact and I have no connection and I'm not making sales. Okay, there's a problem, right? So that is the second part. The second P is people we want to see what is your relation, how are you good? How are you good at making friends and creating connection around you? And then we move from that to go to peace, right? Peace, which is a little bit like you know, you want to use peace here as an anchor. It's like every single thing you do without peace is not that great. Everything that you do without peace is not that great. Why? Because peace is part of your capital, it's part of your human capital, right? So there are things that when you're peaceful, you can do with so much ease without skyrocketing your blood, without bringing pressure, stress, all those things we already know. So your best, I mean, you every single person will love to do what they do while they are still at peace. And then the last one is the process. So is all about problem, people, peace. How do you engineer that to work for you? Okay, that is your system. If you want to call it system, you can call it system. Is all everything put together, your routines, the way that you go about your day, the way that you treat your work, the way that the way that you pull all those things together for you to get to the result that you're actually looking for. So that's why we say problem, people, peace, process, that's your capital.
Mr. Pascal, you identified problem, people, peace, and process as the three. What is the fourth stability trigger and how does it complete the ecosystem?
Say it again one more time, sorry.
You identified problem, people, peace, and process
Yeah.
as three. What is the fourth stability trigger and how does it complete the ecosystem?
You have four problem, people, peace, and process.
Mhm. So, as for what is the fourth stability that triggered them, all of them, to combine to make an ecosystem?
I'm not sure I'm getting the question. I'm trying, but maybe you want to ask the question differently.
Okay, you identify people,
Yeah.
problem, people,
pro-
peace, and process. What
Yeah.
makes this uh, to combine each other? What is the process that you include so that they will be as ecosystem together?
Oh,
They
okay.
will
Okay.
work
Okay.
together.
I got you. I got you now. All right. Sorry. I got you. Sometimes it takes time, but I got you. All right. So, what is the process? The first thing is clear mental picture of your preferred future. Okay. That is
Yes.
the picture from which we moved. It means what? It means I don't really care about the problem, people, peace, and process until I know exactly what you're trying to make happen in your life. So, what is the first thing that comes of interest is what exactly are you trying to achieve? What is the goal here? What is the short, mid, or long term goal? What is it? Right? So, we have to have a vision. That's what I call a clear mental picture of your preferred future. We have to have a vision. Once we have a vision, we have to break it down to this to we have to break it down to very little pieces, like a 3 month goals, a 1 month goal, 2 weeks. We have to break it down to a level where we can actually follow up and keep you accountable. Okay, so that is the first thing. Now we go back to the problem, people, peace, process, just to ask one question. If the goal in 1 month's time is to get to this level, What exactly do you need to do with your capacity and ability when it comes to solving problem for you to reach this level in one more time? What exactly do you need to do with your people ability, capabilities, and opportunity to reach to this level in one more time? Now, we go a little bit deeper than what I'm saying because there's an assessment that we're gonna give you is totally backed by science. Okay, so it's not someone telling you some kind of story. No, it is science. And then you take the assessment. It takes like an 8 minute. And then we have a 22 pages report that comes out with every single thing related to the way that you're naturally and adaptively wired as a human being. Okay, to some people, that is how you've been wired for the past 20 years. To other people, it's just the maybe past 6 months. Okay. But what we do with that report is that we're able to take from that report a clear picture of how you are. Remember, I didn't say who you are, I say how you are, because each time you face problem, there is a specific way that you want to solve how you choose to solve problem. Each time you have to create relationship, there is a specific way that you create relationship, and that's the same thing with peace and process. But the reason why you do that is because you are naturally wired to do those things that way until you rewire completely. Okay. So again, the process is simple. So we know the vision. We know exactly what is the clear mental picture, the thing that you're trying to achieve. It doesn't matter how long, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 1 year, maybe it's 20 years. Then we know your report. We know exactly how you do things, how you solve problem, how you create relationship and connection, how you prefer to enjoy your peace, how you create what is the process that you prefer. And then we move to now the very goal that you want to achieve. So what is the difference between those two pictures? The one that you're trying to achieve and the one that the report is showing right now. And that's where we start crafting a strategy in the middle, right? So I can give you a little bit more detailed um example if that's gonna help. I can give you a detail that if that's gonna help.
Go ahead, Mr. Pascal. Go ahead.
All right, so let's say I give the assessment. Okay, let's say I give the assessment, or let's say I'm moving, right? Someone is moving from having a 9 to 5 to becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, that is a cool example, and that will be like one of my last client example, but real life. So trying to move from a 9 to 5 to becoming an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur who's starting out, it means that the first thing that you want to hear is that you're going to have to solve a lot of problems. Okay. You're going to have a lot of challenges on your table. Now, when I give the assessment to the person and the person takes the assessment, the report comes back with, oh, this person, you know what? It's not really inclined to solve problem. Is someone who is not aggressive, is someone who is not demanding, is someone who is not forceful, is someone who is really mild, that the way that he solves problem is really mild. In technical term, it means that, well, until the person sees that there's an urgency, the person's not going to do anything about the problem. Okay. Now, for some of you guys who have been entrepreneurs for a couple of years now, you know that when you're an entrepreneur, there is an urgency every single day because it is different from having a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5, you can be a guy who's mild. At the end of the month, you're still gonna have your check. Okay. Majority of jobs out there, even if you're average, even if you're just average in your job, you will still have a check at the end of the month. When you become an entrepreneur and then you eat only because you make some sales and then you close some deals, you only eat because you close the deal. So there's an urgency 24 hours every single day. Now, here's where we are. We're trying to become an entrepreneur, moving from a 9 to 5 to become an entrepreneur. But also, when it comes to how we solve problem, we might. So the transformation has to be Well, you know what? Based on what we're trying to achieve, we have to level up a little bit. So we have to move a little bit from mild, maybe to demanding, maybe to forceful, maybe to, I don't know, to whatever is going to match what we are trying to achieve. And that's where we start crafting strategy. You see the picture?
Yes, indeed, Mr. Pascal. And how often is a problem person actually a symptom of a deeper instability in one of the other triggers?
All right, you say it one more time, please.
How often is a problem person actually a symptom of a deeper instability in one of the other triggers?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm catching. I really want to catch the essence of the question, but until now I'm not. Maybe you want to reformulate like in a different way, just like you did just now.
Yes. So, Mr. Pascal, so problem is actually a symptom that deeper instability in one of the triggers that you mentioned a while ago: peace, process, and people. So, how can problem trigger something to make these 4P unite each other?
Oh, okay, I say. Problem is already, problem is part of it. Okay. It cannot triggers the three others. But what can bring a trigger in a sense of what you're saying is the vision. Okay, is what you're trying to achieve that will trigger a reaction from the four P's. All right, so the four P's are meant to go together, they support each other, they are meant to be together to support each other, because if there is let's say if they are not going together, you're gonna have some personal troubles. Okay, you're gonna be someone that no one is gonna recognize. In the morning, you're someone with speed, and then in the evening, you're someone who's like, you know what, I don't like speed. And someone meets you in a week, and then they feel like you're sharp, and then you love to solve problem, and then the next week, the person like, oh, this person is totally different from the person that I met last week. So those four P's, they are meant to support each other, to keep you balanced, if you will, to keep you balanced. So the way that you solve problem, the way that you connect and create relationship, the way that you keep your peace, you protect your peace, and the way that you engineer all that together process. But what is kind of able to create or to destabilize the system, the entire system, is the vision and the consciousness of you or what you want to achieve. So, what is the vision right now? Let's say you have a vision and then something suddenly happens in your life and you have to adjust the vision. Okay. That's going to trigger something from the four P's. So, sometimes you will have to adjust the problem. Sometimes you will have to adjust the problem, the people, the piece, and the process. Sometimes you only have to adjust the process, but it is not about problem, it's not about people, it's about the vision that you're trying or the goal that you're trying to achieve.
Mr. Pascal, what are the most common signs that an unstable process trigger is sabotaging results?
That's a good question. That's a good question. All right. So let's see how process can sabotage the entire result. If you don't have a, the first thing that you want to understand here is that when we're talking about process, we're talking about system. Okay. We're talking about having a system. And the funny example that I have right here on top of my head is how often people go to YouTube and copy and paste routines from other people, right? So let's see a famous person, let's see a popular person on Instagram and whatever it is, TikTok, and then they're kind of, oh, you know what? I'm gonna wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm gonna start running down this guy. And because this guy is eating, I don't know, is eating his lunch at 1 o'clock, I'm also gonna eat lunch at 1 o'clock. And because this guy is going to bed at 6 o'clock, I'm also going to bed at 6 o'clock. So they take the routine of someone, they copy, and then they paste it in their own life, regardless of the fact that they are totally, completely differently wired from that person they are trying to copy the routine and implement in their own life, right? So how the process is gonna not work with that is that, well, if you pick something from someone else and then you're trying to just integrate that into your life, regardless of the fact that, well, you love to solve problem or you don't love to solve problem, you love to have so many friends around you, and then it's easy for you to create connection and to create relationship. Then no, it's not easy for, actually it's not, I'm struggling with that. Like, I'm not someone who creates relationship that easy. Like, I struggle with that. Or the fact that, you know what, you're always chaotic. It's like, this is the environment you grew up, and then you're like, I love to be in the chaos, and that's how I work. I'm pretty sure you heard at least one person in your life saying, oh, see, this is my office, don't touch anything, and you can see the office is upside down, like everything's are just all over the place, and then you're like, oh no, don't touch don't touch the office, I know exactly where everything is. Some people are like that. So you cannot, to answer the question, you cannot just pick, copy, and paste things from someone else's routine and trying to integrate that in your life. No, the best way to engineer growth in your life is to know exactly how you are naturally and adaptive wired as a human being, as an individual, and then creating systems, process that respect who or how you are doing things yourself.
Mr. Pascal, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in third season, and my baby podcast law 101 and mental health 101, love letters in third season, and movie 101 review and music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101. Yeah, it's first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Pascal, what is a small win or quick process implementation that can immediately reduce friction and create a sense of stability?
Well, the most important thing is what I say to people: go to the website, take the assessment. I'm giving the assessment for free. Like, this is something that will change your life for the rest of your life. I'm not just talking about today. It's going to change your life the rest of your life, because in that 22 pages report, you have everything about you. It is only about you. There's nothing that concern me. There's nothing that concern your dad, or just about you. The way that you solve problem, the way that you create relationship, the way that you learn, you prefer to learn. The word preference, okay, the word preference is important here. Every single thing in that report is about your preferences, how you prefer to learn, how you prefer to educate people, to teach people, to share, is there. So you want to make your life easy? Come on, go take the assessment on my website. It is free. You don't have to pay for that. Get the report, sit down with your report, read about yourself, learn a little bit more about yourself. I know that some people do, they know some stuff about themselves, but this is backed by science. Is actually science helping you to understand yourself a little bit better. That's it. From there, honestly, whatever is the change or the transformation that you want to implement in your life is easy.
Mr. Pascal Mbo'a, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Oh yeah. Well, I think one of the most important thing that I'm finishing is Leverage Living, which is a book. It will be soon available on our website as well. It's just helping people to have a little bit more conscious of the leverages that they have around them, and then to use that. I mean, the only difference between rich people and broke people is that there's a camp, or if you will, there's a group of people who are aware of leverage, and then they use it. And then there's another group that's totally ignorant of what leverage is, and how and where they can find leverage to help themselves. So yeah, the book is already, I'm finishing that one. And then the other thing is always coaching and training. People can just go to the website and then they will have all the informations.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Pascal Mbo'a because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering business to come, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Mr. Pascal, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, my friend.
More to come, people. See you soon.